Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to build a new mini quadcopter using this new frame from Spintech Motors, the Spintech Race-3. At the time of shooting this video, this frame is not out yet, but I was lucky enough to get one for this build video. This is the bigger brother of the Spintech Race-1, which I've already featured in the build video. It is almost identical to the Race-3 frame. The difference is that now you can use up to 3-inch propellers, whereas on the Race-1 you can use up to 2.5-inch propellers. And in addition, now you can use up to 14 OEX motors, and on the Race-1 you can use only 11 OEX motors. Now, as you can see, the Daton GTM3 quadcopter is waiting here patiently, and the reason for that is because I'm going to do a transplant. I'm going to take all these parts and move it to the Spintech Race-1. This quadcopter didn't perform well, and Daton are actually going to come out with a newer version because it has some twitching problems and also problems with the video feed. I've seen in other videos that shows the pre-release of the V2 that they added some capacitors, so I'm going to add these capacitors in order to try to solve this issue, and hopefully it's going to perform much better on the Spintech Race-3 frame. So as I said, I'm going to use the parts from the Daton GTM3. I'm not going to use two things, which are the motors. I'm going to try these 1407 4100 kV motors from Cobra. They look pretty neat, and they are going to add some bling to this quadcopter. And in addition, I didn't really like this camera from Daton, so I'm going to use instead the Runcam Micro Sparrow 2. I've already reviewed it and it performed well, so I'm going to use it in this build video. So the next thing I'm going to do is start building this quadcopter. I'm also going to show you where to place the capacitors. So if you have the Daton GTM3 and you want to upgrade it, you should check it out. I hope you will enjoy the rest of this video, and I'll see you in a bit in order to show you the outcome. So there's a small change in plan. Instead of using the Runcam Micro Sparrow 2, I'm going to use the Runcam Split Mini. It was actually my original plan, but I didn't think it's going to fit properly inside this frame, but I just checked and I think that I will manage to put it inside. So I think the HD capability is going to be pretty cool. In addition, I just want to show you what I've done so far. So I've just connected the motors. I'm going to add some zip ties in order to secure it later when I'm going to be done. I also checked and all the motors are spinning. It is important to check that all the motors are working fine and it didn't short anything on the board before wrapping everything up, because then it's going to be a little bit frustrating to take it apart. In addition, I added these two capacitors. I had to extend these capacitor legs in order to fit this spacer over here. I also added some O-rings on the bottom. Now, by the way, we are lucky enough to have extra UART port on this board, but the downside of this board that everything is very tight, and a couple of times these wires, for example, got disconnected. So this board is not very easy to work with. Be careful not to short anything out. It's not that hard, and I almost done it a few times during the build procedure. So the next thing I'm going to do is to wire up the Runcam Split Mini, and then I'm going to show you the outcome. So as you can see, the Spintech Race-3 is now ready. Unfortunately, I had an issue with the flight controller. As I mentioned a couple of times, this is a very delicate board and it's really hard to deal with. And What happened is that the video in stopped working, and the only video that I could see is the overlay of Betaflight OSD. So what I've done is to connect the Runcam Split Mini directly to the VTX, and now I don't have any OSD. I did add a buzzer, but it's not enough, and it's really important to see the battery voltage, and I'm going to either replace the flight controller or change the camera to one that has an OSD, or another solution can be to connect one of the UARTs to the receiver, and then I'll be able to receive the data on my Taranis, but it's still not as convenient as seeing the battery voltage on the OSD. So if you're building this quadcopter from scratch, I don't recommend to use this flight controller, and using an all-in-one stack such as the GLC F428 is going to be much better. Now let's weigh it up. So the weight of the quadcopter without the battery is 145.4 grams. Let's quickly compare it to the Spintech Race-3, which weighs 88.9 grams. So it's about 56 grams of a difference. And of course the difference is because this is a bigger frame and it uses larger motors. The next thing I'm going to do is to flash the flight controller to the latest Betaflight edition. I had it running Butterflight, but I don't really want to mess with Butterflight, and I'm going back home to Betaflight. So I'm going to flash it with latest version, apply all the settings, configure also the Runcam Split Mini, and then I'm going to take it outside and fly it with 2S, 3S and 4S batteries. I'm going to use this 4S battery from Ishin that came with the Ishin Lizard 105S. These two batteries from GNB. This is a 450 mAh 3S battery, and this is a 2S 600 mAh Lipo battery. And these batteries from CNHL. This is a 450 mAh 4S battery, and this one is a 450 mAh 2S battery. I hope you will enjoy the rest of this video, and as always, if you have any questions about this quadcopter, the build procedure, or about the Diaton GTM3 quadcopter, feel free to ask it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already subscribed. See you on my next videos, and goodbye.
You are only confined by the walls you build yourself. Feelings will never kill you, but running away from them will. When times get tough, remember that the storms don't last forever. What you want to be, and not what others want you to become. Big on, know, and will never know. You are the one that decide your fortune, and no one else. No one can tell you how you will live. Your hardest times often lead to the greatest moments of your life. Whatever life throws you, just be strong and fight. And remember, strong walls shake, but never collapse.